Water is the lifeblood of the American farm. Every aspect of farm life is dependent on the availability of a quality water source. Whether for livestock, agricultural, or personal needs, most rural residents in the U.S. get their water from private wells. But that lifeblood, which we often take so much for granted, can easily be contaminated. Many farmstead activities create potential hazards that may affect the quality of groundwater due to their proximity to the well. These hazards can be avoided by following principles of wellhead protection, similar to those which are used to protect public supply wells under the EPA's Wellhead Protection Program, and by using plain common sense.
Hello, I'm Bill Harris. District and area conservationists like you and I can provide technical assistance to rural residents who need information about farmstead well protection. We can also help those residents who may already have well problems. This program, and the video training series that follows, provides information on how to offer this assistance and identifies activities around the farmstead that can adversely affect rural wells.
Additional subjects in this series include well plugging, water quality, principles of well location, well design, construction, completion, and quality control, well maintenance and rehabilitation, and water treatment.
This program you're watching now deals only with activities that occur around the farmstead, as opposed to crop and pasture land. Several other programs address those needs. But now, let's take a look at a visit I made recently to a rural farmstead in my district.
You get him yet?
Yeah, I'm holding. Honey, where's that checklist?
Right here.
Thanks. Yeah, hello, Bill. Hi, Joe Willard. How you doing? Well, we've been reading a lot in the paper about water quality in the county, so we filled out that Farm Bureau's water quality checklist they sent out to everyone. Uh-huh. Well, frankly, my wife and I had some questions about some of the items. Can you come out and go over it with us? Great. Yeah, we'll be here all day.
There are a number of reference materials that district conservationists have at their disposal to help evaluate farmstead water quality, such as the SCS Field Office Technical Guides, Principles of Groundwater for Resource Management Systems, Soil Surveys, Citizens Guide to Groundwater Protection, published by EPA, State Drinking Water Standards, and the Water Quality Checklist, published by the American Farm Bureau Federation.
Joe, the DC's here.
Good to see you again, Bill.
Good to see you, Joe.
You remember my wife, Ann?
Of course. Nice seeing you again, Ann. How are the kids? I guess they're getting pretty big by now?
Oh, well, they're both doing great. Jesse's out on a field trip today. Thanks for asking, and thanks for coming out here to go over this water quality checklist.
Sure, no problem. Let's take a look.
Here you go. You know, after going over it, we've realized there's a lot of stuff around here that might affect our well.
Sure. I tell you what, this checklist can be a darn good help. Why don't we bring it along and go take a look at the well?
Okay. Well, the well's out back here near the barn.
Wells are susceptible to many contaminants that may be found around the farmstead. Well location and construction records are important for this reason. Any information that can be obtained about the well, such as construction records, will help determine its vulnerability. What are the characteristics of the aquifer? Where is the well located in relationship to potential contaminants? Is the well dug, driven, or drilled? What is the depth? What is the age of the well?
Judging from your checklist and drilling record, looks like your well's been properly constructed and completed.
We paid to have it done right. We're not about to scrimp on our family's health.
Yeah. There's 20 feet of surface casing down to a tight clay layer and 10 feet of well screen in the gravel at the bottom. There's also a good gravel pack to keep out the sand.
That's good. Have you had your water tested within the past year?
We had it tested when we first put it in 10 years ago.
I guess we better get that done again.
I realize that getting the water tested can be expensive, but I really advise that you do so. There can be all kinds of contaminants like bacteria, nitrates, pesticides, and petroleum products that really can affect your family's health. When we're finished with the checklist and this inspection, you'll know what to have the water tested for. I'll give you the names and numbers of the state agencies and the private laboratories that can do the test. Is this your only well?
No, my grandfather dug a well over there by the feedlot.
Yeah, we used it right up until when we drilled this one.
We'll look at that later. Usually one of the first things we want to look at is the septic system and its relationship to the well.
Behind the house, down the hill.
The leach field drain lines run along this way.
Looks good on the surface. According to the soil survey, you have a satisfactory soil type. The leach field is far enough away and downhill from the well.
The leach field can be a source of contamination. Even if the leach field is downhill from the well, the cone of depression may draw contaminants into the well.
Joe, if you find a problem when you have your water tested, we can examine this further to see if it's caused by your leach field. Of course, waste storage could also be a problem, but I don't think so, because we took the well into account when we designed this waste lagoon. By the way, how's it doing?
Oh, it's doing a good job. Of course, I stay right on schedule with my pumping to make sure we don't let it get too full.
That's good. But speaking of animal waste, didn't you say your feedlot is close to that old well that Ann's grandfather dug?
Well, yes, it is. Probably 100 feet from the feedlot to the well. The well's over here.
But we don't use it anymore.
Well, here she is. We haven't had her open in a long time.
Yeah, waste from the feedlot area could be working its way in the old well and then across to your new well. Depending on the depths of the two wells, this one could be seeping into the gravel aquifer tap by the house well. How deep is this well?
22 feet.
There is a possibility. Do you ever plan on using this well again?
No, we don't imagine so.
Then I recommend sealing this well. If anything was to get into the old well, it could be flowing over to the new one. Besides, with kids running around here, you have a real safety hazard too. I'll give you the names and addresses of the state agencies that regulate well sealing.
Old, unused, or abandoned wells need to be properly plugged for safety, as well as contamination reasons. Well plugging is now controlled by law in many states. Although laws differ slightly, common requirements include cleaning out any debris so it won't pose continued problems, and making sure the water-bearing zone is sealed.
You keep any ag chemicals on hand?
Sure.
How do you store them?
We keep them stored away safely here in this shed.
I've got quite a bit, actually.
I should say so.
Well, we keep saving them because we think we might need them someday.
We just don't know what else we can do with them. The landfill won't take them.
That is a problem. I have a list back at the office of the appropriate agencies you can contact for disposal procedures. Let me send it to you.
Well, thanks, Bill.
Leftover chemicals are a common problem on most farms. The easiest solution is to not buy more chemicals than you need. But if you do, follow instructions on the label for proper storage and disposal. Also, many counties sponsor hazardous waste pickup programs. Some state environmental agencies set specific procedures for disposal.
While we're talking about chemicals, let's take a look at where you've been mixing them and rinsing out your spray equipment.
We're really careful about that.
And I always mix according to the instructions. And I triple rinse the tanks and the containers, and I spray the rinse water back over the crops away from the house and the well.
And we've been really careful with the lawn fertilizer and the pesticides we put on our garden.
Good. Is this your only fuel storage system?
No, this is a diesel for the tractors. Gas for the trucks is over there.
The lack of grass around the fuel tank indicates to me you've spilt some fuel on the ground.
Well, yeah, I probably spilled some, especially when I let the kids do it.
You're pretty far from your well, so I'm not too concerned. But distances of even several hundred feet may not be sufficient protection. It's very important to be careful to avoid spills. It may not be a problem today, but it could be one tomorrow.
We really need to be more careful, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. I knew a family had one of those underground storage tanks with a leak in it. Really messed up their well.
Was that the Johnson farm?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I remember. The kids got really sick.
What do you do with your used motor oil and antifreeze?
Well, we don't ever just dump it on the ground. We keep it in containers over here in the barn. I spread this oil on the driveway to keep the dust and the anthills down.
Doesn't your driveway run right by your house well?
Yes, it does.
Guess I could be causing ourselves a problem here.
A definite possibility. I sure do suggest that you stop spreading it.
Most service stations will recycle used oil. You should dispose of antifreeze, oil filters, batteries, and hazardous household waste properly.
So you say you have an ant problem. What about termites?
No, we have an exterminator come out every year.
They treat it when they need to.
Some of that stuff they use is pretty potent. I'd find out what they're using. Then I'd have it tested for when you have your water checked.
Well, that's a good idea. I noticed a lot of pesticides are mentioned on the checklist.
I'm glad you took the time to fill it out. It really got UNN thinking about your water quality.
So, what do you think?
For the most part, things look pretty good. I didn't see any problems on the surface with your septic system.
And our animal waste treatment system's doing just fine.
But don't forget, you need to get that abandoned well cleaned out and sealed.
And Joe, we need to change our habits about those chemicals.
Yeah, and the way I'm handling the oil.
In general, I'd say you're both pretty aware of what you're doing around the well.
We better be. It's the only water we've got.
The best thing is to prevent contamination in the first place and have your water tested.
You bet.
Now here's the information I was telling you about. You know what to test for, and keep good records.
We'll do that. And thanks, Bill, for coming out.
My pleasure. Now best check and test the water once a year. And if it indicates a problem, we'll get together again and figure out some alternatives to solve the problem. It's been a pleasure working with you. Let me know what the test results show. Goodbye, Joe. Ann.
Bye, Bill.
Bye.
Activities at the rural home site or farmstead probably represent the most immediate hazard to drinking water quality in rural America. With the assistance of federal, state, and local agency specialists, you can make a difference not only in individual wells, but in the water resources of entire communities.